Welcome back to the Super Comic Universe, and today we bring you Captain GH versus the old African gods. And for those of you who are not familiar with this storyline, please check out Captain GH 1, 2, 3, and 4 to be updated on what's going on. Our story starts in Dunsum, where Captain GH is sitting down with his older brother, and he finally comes clean and tells him, "I'm Captain GH." His brother thinks it's a joke, and he says, "Really? You don't even look anything like him. Seriously, he's bigger, taller, stronger." He says, "Yeah, when I turn into a god, my skin kind of glows, but it's still me." While they are talking, Victoria comes out of spirit form and she says, "We need you, H." Captain GH goes, "What the?" His brother freaks out and says, "What? Is she some kind of witch?" Captain GH says, "No, we are gods, no witches." Victoria tells him she doesn't have time for this. He needs to get up and go with her. He tells his brother, "I'll be back." Meanwhile, at the new Flagstaff house, called the House of Captaingh, Captaingh was informing the people that they will no more import foreign goods, but everything they need will be made here in Africa and used by the African people. Captaingh continues to say that more than 70% of the gold used in the world is from Africa, and they are no longer exporting it to the foreign world. But if they need it, they'll have to crawl on their knees to come and get it. While he was talking, a portal opens and Captain GH and Victoria, the goddess of thunder, comes out of it. Victoria goes to Captaingh and she tells him, "We have a problem, Captaingh." Captaingh says, "What problem?" Victoria says, "A coup d'etat." As Captain GH, Victoria the goddess of thunder, and Captaingh the god of strength flies towards the world of the gods. Captain GH looks at Victoria and he tells her, "You know, you look hot when you're mad." And she does not even respond, because he does not know what's going on. It is a god coup d'etat. They arrive at the god castle, the castle that's supposed to belong to Captain GH, and they land in front of it and they see all the gods are seated, listening to a god telling them that Captain GH is unworthy. You see who it is? It is Osiris, the former king of the gods. Victoria tells him he has no right to call a meeting. Only the king god can call a meeting. And Osiris responds by telling her, "You are supposed to bring Captaingh to justice by using this morsel, but you are all working with Captaingh. For that, you all share his sin." Captaingh says, "Do not speak of me, like I am not here. Speak directly to me, and I shall rip off that little head of yours." And all the gods begin to look at Captaingh, the god who murdered their god king. And as Captaingh moves a muscle, the Egyptian hounds appears, and they hold Captaingh down. And Captain GH quickly blasts one of them with his god blast. And then Captaingh bites down the knife that was being held at his neck. And he hits one of the hellhounds with a force enough to break a mountain. Then we hear a boom, and Captain GH has crushed one of the hellhounds. Captain GH says, "Osiris, get off my chair. God who dares disobey his king deserves my fist." Captain GH rockets and punches Osiris with everything he has, throwing him through a mountain, and they both crash on the ground. Then we see Osiris is trying to get up. Captain GH grabs him by the neck and he says, "What the hell? You know I could kill you if I wanted to." Osiris screams, saying, "You cannot kill the king of the underworld," releasing an energy of death, throwing Captain GH away from him. Then we see Captaingh, the god of strength, covered in the hellhound's blood. And Victoria says, "I thought they were raw. What the hell are they doing here?" And we see whom they were talking about. They are talking about the god Seth and the goddess Baseth, two of the most vicious gods in all of Africa. The four gods collide. Captaingh quickly throws Baseth into a pillar. Then he begins to pummel her, and pummel, and pummel. Now you can hear through the arena say, boom, 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 boom. Captaingh has pummeled her so hard that he forces her to turn back into her actual form. Captaingh begins to walk away and he says, "I respect you, Baseth, but this time, you are on the wrong side." To everyone's shock, Baseth gets up and stabs Captaingh through the chest. She begins to stab him at the speed of light. And out of desperation, Captaingh swings his hands at her, throwing her into a wall. Meanwhile, with the two goddesses of storm, Victoria and Seth, she's showing Seth that she is the only true goddess of thunder. And she summons a deadly thunderbolt, throwing Seth off his feet, crushing him into the ground. Victoria comes close to see whether Seth is dead. Then he slashes at her stomach. She kneels down and she sees that she's not healing. She's dying. Meanwhile, with Captain GH and Osiris, Osiris is burying Captain GH with death energy. Captain GH has been buried in spirit energy and his eyes begin to turn blue and thunder begins to spill out of his mouth. Osiris looks away cause nothing can push back death, but the thunder cracks Osiris into a mountain. Behind Captain GH, someone swings a staff and hits him across the neck. Behind him we see Anubis and he talks to him and his voice sounds like death. He says, "You may be the king of the gods, but no god can defeat two gods of death." Captain GH turns his head and he looks at him, telling him, "You shall all learn to respect your king." When he was not looking, Osiris hits him with a wicked right hand. Anubis also hits him with everything he has. Meanwhile, with Cawdor and Bastet, they are ripping each other apart. Cawdor tells Bastet, "You should be on our side. You are a god of protection, just like I am." And Bastet tells him, "I may be a goddess of protection, but I owe my allegiance to Ra." After saying that, Cawdor crushes her into the ground. Cawdor gets up and he says, "One day you will come to see that I am right." As Cawdor turns around, he hears a boom and a green smoke begins to appear. A god steps out of it. A god as powerful as Cawdor and maybe even stronger. It was the unpredictable god, Selvik. The entire crowd of gods go hush. This is a fight all the gods have wanted to see for thousands of years, and Cawdor stares at him, and Cawdor goes for a takedown, and Selvik stops him and throws Cawdor away like he is nothing. Cawdor gets up and he says, "You think you can stand against me, Selvik? I will crush you like I've done to all the others." The goddess Bastet gets up. She is the daughter of Ra, and she tells Cawdor, "You are forcing me to use a power I swore never to use again, the Eye of Ra." And she taps into the power of every star in existence and she blasts Cawdor with everything she has. The smoke clears and we see Cawdor and Captain GH have been defeated. And that is it for this comic. If you want to see what happens next, please subscribe or like this video. We bring you the next video of Captain GH. And believe me, let me just give you a scoop. Ra is coming. It's going to be awesome. See you next time. It's been the Super Comic Universe.